Let's talk about a stay-at-home mom versus a stay-at-home dad. So,
I think stay-at-home dads get a lot of slack still and get a lot of shame from society.
I mean, yes.
Which is cray. People see of it more like, and then it goes back onto the women then. It still goes back to the women because people are like, oh, I can't believe, like, how are you managing all by yourself? I can't believe your wife went back to work.
Yeah.
But it's insulting for both parties. You're insulting the dad by being like, you can't take care of your kids without a woman. And you're insulting the mom by being like, obviously in families that have moms and dads, I'm sure it's very complicated when you have parents of the same gender. And I'm sure that the insults that you get and the comments that you get are insane.
That's true.
Quite literally so much worse than a nuclear family could imagine. But yeah, it's like you're telling the mom that she's a bad mom for going to work and providing for her kids, but you would never say that to a man. You would never say you're a bad dad for going to work.
Welcome to Her Unshakeable Confidence with dynamic mother-daughter duo Simone and Olivia Knego, where they discuss the secrets of transformation and how to build bold confidence and unwavering resilience. From intimate conversations with inspiring guests to sharing their personal journeys of triumph and challenge, Simone and Olivia create a supportive space where every woman is encouraged to rise above her fears and love the woman in the mirror. Tune into Her Unshakeable Confidence and join this special journey of connection and growth. It's like catching up with old friends who inspire you to be bravely and uniquely you.
Welcome to this week's episode of Her Unshakeable Confidence. I'm Simone Knego.
And I'm Olivia Knego.
And today we're talking about a subject that my husband brought up, which is like double standards. It's not like double standards, it's double standards. So, we see it on TV shows, we see it in the workplace.
We see it in the real world.
Yeah, we think that, oh my gosh, things are so much better. But I guess my question is, are they? So that's my question today. Let's talk about how double standards.
I don't think so.
I mean, things have evolved for sure, but there are still. So let's start with career and ambition. Let's start right there. So ambitious men, how do you think they're seen?
Like that they're a good, like, I don't know.
Leaders.
People that are trustworthy.
Yeah.
Someone
ambitious
that you would
men are
want
leaders.
Like someone you'd want to be with.
And women, ambitious women, are seen as aggressive or too much. Let's talk about that. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's still really prevalent. I think one of the things is in my class, especially, which is very interesting to me because we're majority women. I think it might be 66-33, but at least 60-40 for sure. And we've always, like, most of our, and it's just still like a thing that the men, I mean, you still have to fight for your respect, and that's like fight for your place. I think recently I went to a talk on sports law, and it's definitely a topic I'm interested in. And my friend's sitting next to me, and I'm like really engaged in this, asking questions. She's like, "Why isn't this what you're doing?" And I was like, "Well, I don't want to fight for my right to exist every day of my career." Mm-hmm. And that's definitely in the environment in sports law still, in a lot of different fields. So, I saw something. ChatGPT was like, why do confident men, are they someone to be trusted, but confident women are scary?
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and it's the perception. Like, obviously, there's a lot of different kinds of confidence. Quiet confidences. But when people are, tend to be, especially women, tend to use their voice more, then you're seen as aggressive, which is so ridiculous, right? Because as a man, they're like, yeah. And this is not man bashing. This is just saying the statistics and what we have found in the real world through our own experiences and also the experiences of others.
And I think one of the things that is a prime example to me is the way we treat female politicians. And I feel like I have a lot of internal bias about it because I hate that female politicians have to act like men to get respected.
Interesting.
I think that it's been really disheartening as a young woman who is, getting a Juris Doctorate and could potentially have a role in politics one day if I wanted to, that I've watched two elections go by where we've had strong female candidates that were like, you know, up there, and both times they didn't win. And it feels like a lot of the time it comes down to the fact that they are a woman.
Well, yeah. I mean, our country has not seen that, right? I mean,
and I think that, I mean, it's one of those things, like, I know there's so much more involved in it, but you look at the last 3 elections, 3 times you had the man in power run now, and versus one time it was a man and one time it was 2 women for Democrats, and the 2 time it was a woman they lost, but the 1 time it was a man against Donald Trump they won. So if you just look at it just base level, it's like, oh, well, we just don't like women and we don't want them in power.
Yeah. Well, I like women. I want them in power.
I mean, yeah, I think
yeah.
There's a lot of internal bias, but even like on a women end though, like going back to the female politician thing, it's like, you're not acting feminine enough for me to trust you. But they can't act feminine if they want to be respected in the House or the Senate or wherever they're trying to get their power.
Here's one of the weird things I saw, or very interesting things I saw, that for women CEOs who happen to be women, I don't want to say women CEOs. Why do I have to qualify it like that?
Yeah.
But so CEOs that they don't feel like they can dress the way they want to dress and still be respected.
Yeah.
So I've read studies about women who went, as they rise in the corporate ladder, that they dress more manly.
Yeah.
And use less makeup so that they don't stand out as much. And I was like, really? Wow. Okay. Like, we are still there.
Yeah.
I thought that was really
I feel like we're really still there when it comes to business and law, and I don't know about medicine. I'm assuming medicine still. But it does feel like you step back 10 years in both spaces. One of my friends first started in accounting. You had to wear skirts and nylon, and this was in the late 90s. Some companies that still have you wear the nylons.
Yeah, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
What? I mean, I understand, like, okay, men wear suits, but they wear suits anyways. Like, it's not like women can wear suits, women can wear pants. But a lot of places, well, I don't know if they still. I have no idea.
Some companies, some of them definitely still do.
Yeah. Let's talk about parenting roles.
Yeah, men are always the fun parent. Well, that's not true.
Oh, what are you trying to say about me?
No, I'm going to say it because women have to discipline.
Okay.
In the nuclear family household, where we have this traditional idea of like the 1950s family still, where mom stays at home and dad goes to work, mom is the one that takes on the role of the stricter parent sometimes. It's always, there's so many situations, but at least in our house, you always took on the stricter role, and no shame to dad, but dad wasn't there to like see the ins and out of our behavior in the day. It's like, how are you going to like yell at me? You weren't even there. How are you going to get me in trouble? You don't know what happened.
I don't yell.
No, that's the thing. Well, I never said you would never yell at me. Dad would yell at me. Different.
So
men are allowed to yell. If women yell, they're seen as crazy. When men yell, they're seen as powerful.
That's an interesting one too. Here's one that I think is a little bit different. Let's talk about a stay-at-home mom versus a stay-at-home dad. So,
I think stay-at-home dads get a lot of slack still and get a lot of shame from society.
I mean, yes.
Which is cray. People see of it more like, and then it goes back onto the women then. It still goes back to the women because people are like, oh, I can't believe, like, how are you managing all by yourself? I can't believe your wife went back to work. Yeah. But it's insulting for both parties. You're insulting the dad by being like, you can't take care of your kids without a woman. And you're insulting the mom by being like, obviously in families that have moms and dads, I'm sure it's very complicated when you have parents of the same gender. And I'm sure the insults that you get and the comments that you get are insane.
That's true. That's true.
Quite literally so much worse than a nuclear family could imagine. But yeah, it's like you're telling the mom that, oh, she's a bad mom for going to work and providing for her kids. But you would never say that to a man. You would never say you're a bad dad for going to work.
No, never. Never.
Not even if the dad like went off of paternity like 2 days after. Like he started back to work 2 days after. You would never say that, but you would say that to a woman that maybe cut her maternity leave a week short.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe you're going to leave your baby at home.
It's like,
or baby at daycare.
They're not going to know.
Also, well, babies know, but they don't know.
They're not going to remember.
No, they're not going to remember.
Do you think I remember that you spent how many years at home with me? Or do you think I remember that you shipped me off to school early?
Well, obviously you do because you just said it.
I only know that because I'm a baby.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about, and this kind of keeps going with that, is that when dads do something like change a diaper, they get all the praise, right? It's an expectation for the moms to do these things. My favorite is like watching those videos, and I don't actually watch them, but like I see those videos where the dad is trying to change a diaper and they're like, bleh, bleh, and they can't, like, they're like literally trying to vomit. They can't handle it.
It's like, do not wipe your own butt.
Well, that's what I think too. I'm like, I don't know.
Because like, I know that you have crazier poops than what a baby can come out with. Like you're a man and I know that you've drinking a 12 pack in a single day before. Like it's fine, Joe. I think that the way that, oh my God, I like hate online parenting and like the videos that you see about this stuff. There's like so much to be said about it. That's like for a different podcast. But yeah, it's really weird how even in parenting, we put like gender roles onto it. And that's, I guess, the whole argument for people going back to like same sex couples, well, being like, well, they're going to grow up without a mom or they're going to grow up without a dad. And it's like, you just need a parent, maybe two, that loves you. It does not matter what else is happening as long as like you're able to, you know, really not only physically provide for your child, but emotionally provide for your child as well.
It's a really interesting point because I think that if we took away the stereotypical gender roles, then why would it matter? But society is still so focused on, well, you're the man, you go off to work.
Yeah, mom stays home and mom cooks dinner and mom takes you activities and dad has a 9 to 5 and dad's going to come home and dad's going to help you with your homework. And it's like, why?
If that. But not saying that that's always the case, but just overgeneralizations here. But think about the idea of then when a woman is working, the same expectations are typically in place that woman is still going to come home and she's still going to do the laundry and the cooking. Now, your dad is great, like, and maybe because I'm crappy at it, but he does the dishes. Like he just always does the dishes. Yeah. And he likes to cook too.
I was about to say, like, he didn't always like to cook though.
No.
Now he does.
Yeah.
But dad has always helped out around the house. That has never been like it's always just for me, which is why like this is how I've always done with roommates too. Like if someone cooks, someone else cleans. And like I guess there are some houses where you cook and you clean and that's
do all the things
to me.
You do all the things.
But the idea of like women having that extra responsibility of taking care of the entire household on top of work, I think is still very prevalent because I see a lot of Reddit posts about it all the time. And like women talking about like issues with their partner and their husbands and being like, well, this is what I do around the house. And I asked him to do this one thing and he's refusing. And it's like, okay, so you're doing 80% of the work plus you're working a full-time job. That's not equity or equality. That's horror.
It's really, it makes you think, right? It makes you think that.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that's like, I don't understand. There's no excuse for not knowing things. Like you went to college for 4 years, most of the time. A lot of these like families that I'm seeing online, like you know how to do your laundry. You know? Yeah.
It's an interesting
I think it's all a bit of responsibility on parents of men listening, like, and women, obviously, both genders. Don't genderize what you're teaching your kids. Like, if you're teaching your boy how to change a tire, teach your girl how to change a tire. And if you're teaching your girl how to bake a loaf of bread, teach your boy how to bake a loaf of bread.
Yeah, I know we talked about this before. I think that the idea of home ec and shop at school, I think they're still really important, but I think everybody should do both.
We got rid of them, at least in my school. I didn't have those opportunities at all. And I would have liked to take them because there's so many things that I've had to learn the hard way around the house And then honestly, like, I would love to know I have to get my oil changed today. I would love to know how to change my oil myself, or like how to change a tire. I don't even know what to do when I get a flat.
You call AAA.
I call AAA, and I only know that now after I've gotten a flat. Like, that's not a fun situation to be with. No, it's like,
okay. I want to tell one more story regarding the parenting roles and how, and obviously your dad works a ton, right? He's a physician. He works a ton, but it is a really interesting thing. I think that the parenting roles, no matter what, in any situation, my true belief is that they should be shared equally, because they're your kids. It's not like you're taking out the trash.
It's like, oh my God, our mom left you to babysit for the weekend. The fuck? No. You mean parent? You mean raise your child?
Well, right. You're raising your child. So I'll give just one example of when I climbed Kilimanjaro. Oh my gosh, your husband is such a saint. He's going to take care of your kids while you're gone. And I'm like, they're his kids too.
Yeah, like more like grandma's a saint for stepping in and doing our morning pickups and stuff.
Yeah, they're his kids, and trust me, we both say thank you every day for all of the help that we give each other. But like, we're a partnership, and that thought process and it was women that say that to me, right?
It's an internal bias thing,
right? And I just think to myself, no, like, we share this role together, right? It doesn't matter working, not working.
It needs to be shared, because I have so many people in my life that don't have an equal relationship with both of their parents, whether it's not with their mom or whether it's with their dad. And that I feel like comes a lot down to the gender roles that we give to parents. And like, a lot of times, like, dad's busy, so he steps in when it's fun, but mom has to take on the harder roles of disciplining, or dad's never there, so I never formed a relationship with him, and now I'm an adult, and what am I supposed to talk to this man about that I barely know? And it's just like, we need to I'm not a parent, so I'm not going to be like, parents step up, but spend time with your kids. They're cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
And we've talked about this so many times. Or maybe we haven't, actually. I feel like we have. It's your job as a parent to like find something to connect with your kid about. So don't be like, well, my kid's a girl and she's 4. I don't want to play tea parties. Yeah, you do. Put a little tiara on, sit at the table.
Pretty princess, my friend. You just do the things.
Yeah, you do.
And you know what? And along those lines, I was watching a show yesterday, and they had the dad was literally in the last moments of his life, and the daughter was apologizing because she was obviously angry at him for a long time, but she was angry at him because he didn't know how to do those things. I mean, this was years and years ago, but he always wanted her to come fishing, and he always wanted her to come, and she just refused to do those things because she considered those for a son, not a daughter.
Yeah.
And I want to say, like, as a kid, do all the things, right?
Yeah. But like, you're a kid. Like, I'm not saying, like, it's like, I agree, you should go fishing with your dad, like, not just because you think it's a boy thing, but also, like, your dad should step up. And your mom.
Yeah.
By the way, like,
across the board.
Yeah, like, it shouldn't just be dad going to play ball in the yard, too. Like, I mean, like, for me, like, don't play ball with me. I have no catch or aim. Like, there's no skills, but, like, I'll be there. In the head. Yeah, like, I'm not the right person. I'll play video games. That's, like, the whole outside sports are not necessarily my forte. Or inside sports. Honestly, sports in general. I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about gender roles recently as I start getting more into the world. And I felt I catch myself doing things so many times. Like, if I'm going, honestly, like, I've gone home a lot of times, or I've gone to see my friends without bringing my boyfriend with me. And I'll be like, oh, do you need me to, like, make food for you for the week? And he's like, why?
That's an interesting one.
The thing is, like, he cooks dinner half the time, too.
My mom wouldn't leave the house without leaving my dad a sandwich, even if she was gone for 2 hours. And it was like, he can't make a sandwich? Like, really?
Yeah. And part of it is, like, I like showing love to people through cooking, but also part of it's just like, oh, well, like, I'm not here. Like, here's dinner. I don't know.
I used to do it all the time.
did.
But now I'm like, you guys can figure it out.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's part of it. But I never thought of it as like a gender role thing. But I guess part of it was also like our household was so different growing up.
Yeah, I mean,
from the way that we did a lot of things, it was just like, yeah, dad was working, but like he would also like mom would be out of town for also her work stuff. So it's like I don't know, we grew up in a very different.
Yeah,
we might come off this as a nuclear family, but then you realize that there's 3 additional ones and that mom and dad both work just in different ways.
Well, what is your definition of a nuclear family?
That whole idea of a 2.5 kid, white picket fence house, white mom, white dad, you know.
I didn't know that's what you were trying to say.
Yeah, like that whole idea of this like 1950s, dad comes home, martini waiting by the door. Like that whole image of like, this is the traditional American family. And it's like, oh, okay, like to you.
So I want to run through these ones a little bit quicker because I have like 4 more that I want to get to. So emotional expression, right?
Yeah.
So women being called to emotional or hormonal, even better, when expressing anger or passion. And then also, let me add 2 more parts to it. Men don't cry, right? I mean, that idea that men don't cry, I mean, that's kind of ridiculous too. But again, it's a double standard. So this is both men and women are held to different standards. And then the stigma of men seeking therapy versus women seeking therapy, right? Especially like I think it's much more common for women to talk about it, but not for men. And you see it portrayed so frequently in movies and TV shows that if you have a man go, or even if you're talking couples therapy, it's like the man's like, no, I don't want my friends to know about this, or this would be embarrassing if anybody found out.
Except my older brother that has done therapy. I mean, Noah's like, obviously Noah, take Noah out of the equation. His is different, but like talking about Jacob's the only one. And I feel like a lot of the people that I know that men do it are it's like short term, like, I just need to get through this certain period of my life.
Well, this is, which is fine. I mean, but acknowledging that you need help, I think is a huge thing.
So interesting to me because therapy is not gender specific. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's really great.
But it's that stigma around it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I've never even thought about it before, but I mean, granted, I don't have a lot of close male friends, but no one I know has like that I know of has been in therapy as a man or even talks about it. Like because like if I have a therapy session, my next day is being like, oh, that's what my therapist and I were talking about, or like my therapist and I were just talking about this. And so like I think a lot of people that do therapy, you kind of just like slip that into conversation because it's just the way your brain works. But I've never heard a man do that. And that's kind of sad because isn't it, there's something about men's mental health awareness and that just happened or is happening soon. And it's a really important topic because that like, well, you said like women being more emotional and hormonal. Men have hormones too, by the way, just in case any man is listening.
Well, I'm just saying what they're called if they cry, they're considered emotional or hormonal.
Which is crazy because it's like
men can't cry. If men cry, then they're weak, right?
Yeah.
So those are like the stereotypical things that
and it's like I hate the word hormonal in general because it's like everyone has hormones. Testosterone's a hormone, so like, you know, like
yeah,
that it's just like whatever. But I don't know, like men need a space to talk to, especially because they aren't afforded a lot of the close female friendships and like confidants that we have as women.
Okay, let's move on to appearance and aging because I think this is a very interesting
such a good one. MILF v. DILF, bro.
Okay, I was not thinking that.
No, but here's why. Here's why I'm thinking it. Because remember when dad bod became a thing?
Oh, yeah.
And everyone was a DILF. But like, no one's a MILF because to be a MILF, you have to have essentially never had children. So your body has never changed since you're 20. And even then, it's like, the whole idea of plastic surgery too, like girls my age getting preventative, which like good on you, do what you want. But men, I don't know any man that has gotten Botox publicly.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody talks about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can definitely tell that people have.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They don't really say anything about it.
And then hairline surgery for men?
Yeah, but let's just talk about like what we, when we look at men who are aging, we're like, oh, they're aging.
They're salt and pepper. Oh my God. He's
he's
hot.
A silver fox.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? They have a lot more positive. That goes back to the DILF thing, though. Like, you have a lot more positive terms as you're aging as a man.
Yeah, I mean, and a bald head on a man is like, oh, that's sexy. Yeah. A bald head on a woman, ooh, she's sick, or oh my gosh, poor thing, she has hair loss. As someone that has hair loss, I don't want to be the poor thing. You have hair loss, right?
Yeah.
Why can't you still be sexy as a bald-headed woman? I mean, you can. I absolutely can. Like I'm just saying by
of it.
Yeah. And wrinkles in men, you know, make them ruggedly handsome. And wrinkles in women make them old.
You've had to deal with a lot in your life. That's what wrinkles in women say.
Oh, yeah. And then that idea of if you are a woman and you choose to give birth to a baby, if you can give birth to a baby, I feel like I kind of flubbed that whole situation because obviously there are some women that would like to have a baby and they're not able to. And there's plenty of women who don't want to have a baby. So that idea of that your body has to bounce back right away.
Yeah, that's terrifying to me.
Your body just got ripped in two giving birth to a child, but you know what? You better be back at that weight within a couple months.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm good.
I just think that's that idea there is so ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah, I think the idea of pregnancy in general, like people being like, well, it's only a 9-month impact on your life. No. I mean, you have to think about the stress that goes into before and trying to conceive, and that can take years. And then the after effects can also take years.
Or there's things that will never go away. I mean, you're going to have stretch marks. There's all kinds of things that happen to your body that it's not about bouncing back, right? You're a new person after you give birth to a child. Your body just will never be the same. Whatever you say, it's never going to be the same.
You're a new person.
Yeah, you got a new look.
And that's cool. It's super cool that women like biologically can have kids, like, and carry a child.
It's amazing that you can grow
your
something
body
in there.
did that. That's awesome.
Exactly. Okay, I have two more that I want to cover in the next 3 minutes. Okay, appearance and aging.
You said that already.
No. Just seeing if you're paying attention. Relationships and sexuality. Right?
Yeah.
Slut shaming versus stud celebration.
That's a great framing.
Thank you. I found it on ChatGPT. Yeah, I mean, think about it.
I would like to know how prevalent that is still. I'm sure it is, but I'm sure it is on both ends. But who's praising their buddy for sleeping with that many people? Mind your own business and be like, okay, cool. And don't shame the girl that does it either. It's just people's sex life is their business and we don't need to praise or shame them about it. And it's okay, chill. I don't know.
So here's a survey involving over 19,000 college students revealed that nearly half held egalitarian conservative views, judging both men and women equally for frequently hooking up. So both men and women are being judged, right? So, however, a significant portion still maintain traditional double standards, particularly among male athletes and fraternity members. They judge more harshly. They judged women more harshly than they did men. So...
yeah. Well,
I think there's probably a lot of statistics.
The whole idea of there even being a body count in the first place and that people are tracking the amount of people that they sleep with is
yeah. Isn't there an actual, a term? Do they say body count?
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
Yeah. That's what's your body count?
I mean,
that's gross.
That's gross. And you know what? But again,
it's so gross on so many things. Especially if a man is saying that to you, you realize that they are just thinking of you as a piece of meat to add to their list.
But if a woman says that,
they're a total slut. Apparently, because it's totally all of my business, completely who they slept with. And that totally, like, because that is going to change how they work or how they are as a friend or, you know, their abilities as an employee or a student.
She's being funny.
Yeah, I'm being facetious.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't matter.
But there is still, I mean, when I was...
Obviously, there's people that care. And there's people that... the fact that body count is still a term that's used and it's so prevalent, I'm sure.
When I was younger, we did not say the word body count. But definitely there was girls who slept around more at my school, and they were known as easy. And those were... The guys went after them.
Yeah, but then if you're not easy, you're a prude, so...
Right. No matter, you can't win.
No.
Right? I mean,
no, you literally can't.
Okay. The last one I want to bring up. Actually, in this one I forgot about because this applies to me personally. So the double standards around dating age gaps. So older men dating younger women, right?
Yeah.
No big deal.
Well, I feel like that's changing slowly but surely.
You think so?
In the way of people are starting to call men out more for dating women at a younger age.
Well, I haven't seen that here.
Okay.
I see them calling them out. Like I see the celebrity things where they're like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, but nothing ever really comes from it. I guess it's just like. But yeah, the whole idea of like a cougar still, like,
yeah, for sure. Okay, last thing I want to talk about. So the idea of what you wear, right, as a woman, and preventing assault, right?
Yeah.
That what were you wearing narrative.
Yeah.
So like it's on you if something happens to you if you were dressed inappropriately.
Just so everyone knows, legally it's not. It's all about what the perpetrator did. So.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying that perception,
and it's so frustrating to me, and it's evident. I mean, among my peers as well, like in the classroom discussions, that mindset kind of still exists about what were you wearing, what were you doing, girl? It's not my business. It's not your business. It's not victim shaming. We don't do that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, people still talk like that. So like.
I could go into sexual assault real quick. It's the most changing crime that we've had in the last 50 years. And so many milestones have been made with it. I mean, in the last 50 years, we've gotten, or marital rape has been made illegal by most states. And that wasn't illegal before. And we've gotten rid of the idea of like your occupation has to be considered. So like a prostitute wasn't be able to be considered raped because that was their job essentially.
Oh, wow.
So many strides have been made, but it's still like, I think 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted. And I think a third of those crimes are actually reported. And then like maybe half of those are actually prosecuted.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's the most underreported and under-prosecuted crime that we have. And it's so many things to say about it, but it should never come down to what the victim was doing and what they were wearing and their state of intoxication. And that's what doesn't come down to legally, so it shouldn't come down to that morally. And if you have those thoughts, you should work on changing your brain and keeping them to yourself.
So, what does a different world look like, right? What would change look like? Not just for that, but like everything we just talked about. That's a lot. But okay, let's pick a couple of things.
I think it would, why does it matter?
Right.
Like, I think the easiest change would be starting, and we've done a lot of it, I think, from the time that I was a kid to now, raising our kids gender neutral. And I'm not saying, like, don't tell your kid they're a boy and a girl, like that. Okay, whatever, do as you want as a parent. But, like, teach your boys and your girls the same things. Take your boys and your girls to the same events. If you're taking your boy to a football game, take your girl to a football game. Don't force your boy to go to the football game if they don't want to go, and don't force your girl to go shopping if they don't want to go. I think that's the easiest way to do it, is to start with our kids. I mean, and raise them equally. And like, when you see bias, call it out and be like, what they just did was not okay.
I want to say one last thing about this because, this was something that happened when Jacob was little, that he had Power Rangers and he had Barbies, and like, so what? Right?
Yeah, he can have an imagination.
Yeah. I mean, it's huge to have an imagination. And we had friends who were like, oh my gosh, you're going to let him play with Barbies? I was like, yeah, why wouldn't I? Like, because, it's such a...
And that whole statement, I think, comes down to like a homophobic mindset, because it's like, you're going to make your kid gay. First of all, you can't make anybody gay. Yes. Second of all, who cares?
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah, it's an outdated. The way that we do this is like one of the. I mean, it's everything that a lot of the bad things in our society are outdated. But I feel like the double expectations.
Expose your kids to everything, right?
Yeah.
Expose them so that, I don't mean everything, but expose them to different things, so they don't just think, oh, men can only do this and women can only do this. Like, that is archaic, right? We need to be able to move forward. So, and it starts with how we interact with our children.
I think that's the stepping point, is how we raise our kids.
And how we treat ourselves, right?
Oh,
how we stand up for ourselves.
For sure. Your kids learn from you.
Sorry, absolutely.
Whether that is it's not just through listening, it's through watching. I can tell you that what you say is not what they do. They do what you do.
Do you have your calendar?
Yeah.
Read away.
It's your job to make you happy.
That's simple, and it's true, right? You're in charge of all of it. And this is actually my confidence tip of the week. I remember to say it the right way, is stop waiting for permission. You don't need approval to take up space, speak your truth, or chase what you want. The moment you decide you're enough, the world starts to catch up. I think those align perfectly.
Yes.
So thank you for joining us on this week's episode of Her Unshakeable Confidence. We will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to Her Unshakable Confidence with Simone and Olivia Knego. We hope this episode has made your day just a little bit brighter and given you the inspiration you need to confidently go about your week. Always remember to be authentically you. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And feel free to connect with them on Instagram at Simone Knego and at Olivia Knego. Till next